How are vegetables and fruits stored? Fruits and vegetables add color, taste, vitamins, minerals and fiber to diets. And the quality of the purchased product directly affects the quality of the food cooked. There are some rules to know when choosing and storing vegetables and fruits. Fruits and vegetables should not wrinkle or have brown spots on them. An apple. It should be crunchy and tough. They can be stored for weeks in the refrigerator or in a cool place out of direct sunlight. Some species can stand undisturbed for several months. Apples emit a type of gas that allows other fruits to ripen quickly. If you don't want the fruit to ripen quickly, keep it away from an apple platter and don't store apples and other fruits together in the refrigerator. Wild artichokes and asparagus. Store in the refrigerator and consume within 2 or 3 days of purchase. Avocado. You can understand that this tropical fruit is ready to eat by gently pressing on its peel. Store at room temperature until fully cooked. If you do not want to eat it right away, you can store it in the refrigerator for several days. Banana. Consume them before they turn completely brown. When you put it in the fridge, you slow down its ripening. Even if you store it in the refrigerator, the peel continues to turn brown. But the inside of the fruit does not ripen. Green pepper. Store it in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. Broccoli and cauliflower. Store in the refrigerator and consume within a week. Cabbage. You can store it in the refrigerator for a week or 2. Carrot. Consume it when it is hard, before it becomes soft like rubber and the roots start to come off. You can store carrots in the refrigerator for weeks. Celery. Fresh celery is crunchy and firm. Old celery bends left and right like a rubber pen. You can store it in the refrigerator for a week or 2. Cherries, and small berries. Keep refrigerated. If you don't want it to lose any of its flavor, consume it the day you buy it. These fruits quickly become soft and moldy. Citrus fruits, lemon, orange, citrus. You can store citrus fruits in the refrigerator for up to 3 weeks. Because they do not continue to ripen after being picked and are more durable than other fruits. Sweet corn popcorn. Consume the day you buy it. After the corn is harvested from the field, the sugar in it begins to turn into starch and changes the taste of the corn. Cucumber and eggplant. Their shells should be hard, shiny, smooth and flawless. You can store it in the vegetable drawer of the refrigerator for a week. Garlic. The garlic should be firm, not mushy when carried, and should not have green spots. Once they start to sprout, they taste bitter. Keep the garlic in a bowl at room temperature where you have it. This way, it is easy for you to eat it fresh while preparing food. If you don't use garlic often, keep it in the refrigerator so it doesn't sprout and last longer. Grapes. Fresh, ripe grapes are very juicy and have a thin white coating. You can store it in the refrigerator for a week. Green beans. Store in the refrigerator and consume 3 or 4 days after purchase. Leafy herbs, beet head, cabbage, turnip, etc. It spoils very quickly. Store it in the refrigerator and consume it within a day or 2. Mushroom. Store in paper bags in the refrigerator. Consume within a week. Onions, potatoes, leeks, and hard-shelled winter squash, such as green winter squash and pumpkin. You can store it for a month at room temperature. Store potatoes, onions, and winter squash in a cool, dry, dark drawer or box. Onions, leeks and potatoes should be firm. If it becomes soft and rubbery, it means that it has lost its freshness. Pineapple. They do not continue to ripen after being collected from the field. Consume within a few days of purchase. Store sliced or whole at room temperature, away from heat and sunlight. Or in the refrigerator. Green salad. You can store it in the refrigerator for up to a week. Clean, wash, dry and store in the fragile drawers of the refrigerator by wrapping them in paper towels or placing them in plastic bags before placing in the refrigerator. It can last for 2 or 3 days in the refrigerator. When buying lettuce, you should not buy muddy lettuce. Spinach. Clean, wash and dry before storing in the refrigerator. You can store it in the refrigerator for 2 or 3 days. Summer squash, bell squash and yellow squash. You can store it in the refrigerator for up to a week. Tomatoes. If you want it to taste better, store it at room temperature. If you want to ripen, store them in paper bags in cool and dark place. Consume immediately after ripening. If you can't eat them right away, you can store them in the refrigerator for a few more days. But this will spoil the texture and wilt the tomatoes. Leave it for a while at room temperature before eating. Tropical fruits. The mango, papaya, and kiwi should be firm, but when you press lightly on the peel, they should crumble and smell fruity. Store them at room temperature to make them more palatable. But keep them in the refrigerator after ripening. Leave it for a while at room temperature before eating. Raw watermelon and other tree fruits, such as pears, peaches, and rootless peaches, ripens and sweeten when kept at room temperature. If the watermelon smell comes from the stem of the watermelon, this means that it is ripe. Once they are fully ripened, you can store them in the refrigerator for several days.